Hello guys, welcome back to S3D, and this is actually kind of a follow-up video to my expose video that I did about, I kind of recommended people buying these more expensive nippers for some gunpla kits, especially when you're dealing with high real grades. So when you're dealing with really, really small parts, like I said, it's kind of a good idea to get this single-bladed nippers. However, when you use single-bladed nippers, you do actually have to be very careful. Uh, Again, like I don't recommend ever using these on high-grade kits. Basically, if you're cutting something that's a little too thick, because a lot of people use the two-cut method, right? If you're cutting the parts, a lot of people don't cut it like very close to the part itself. They cut it on the, when you're cutting two parts, you're cutting the part of the runner, that's very thick, and then you leave that little space in between to, do your second cut, right? This is definitely something that you don't want to do for the first cut, So for the first cut, you always want to use your standard nippers, and then you want to use the Godhands when you're trimming the parts right off as close to the part itself as you can. Leave just a little bit for you to sand and to clean up. See, for me, I completely bypass that because it's actually really, really pointless with the new formulation on the polystyrene parts nowadays. You can just, just cut it right, just leave enough space with the standard nippers, and then just leave enough space and then clean up with the hobby knife. It's essentially the same thing. So if you want to save your money on, if you're only building high grade kits and entry grade, there's almost no reason at all to be getting these, single bladed nippers. I know some of there are like God hand knockoffs. Other retailers sells like their own version of the God hands. They range anywhere from 15 to $80. Still, it is, in my opinion, if you're only building high grade and entry grade, you don't really need those. Like, the instance where you're gonna have to deal with tiny, tiny parts, it's very, very rare. So, yeah. But if you are an exclusive RG builder, then this is gonna be essential for your toolkit because with RGs you're dealing with lots and lots of tiny parts, which you don't even have enough space to cut. So basically, you do actually have to cut as close to the part as possible, and this is the way to do it because they're actually really really thin, like they're tiny, and the runner for these parts are also very tiny. They are these single bladed nippers are very useful for that situation. So yeah, a lot of people end up breaking these when they're using it on their high grades and entry grades. So you definitely want to be careful, especially if you're buying like a pair of $80 nippers. You don't want to end up just breaking them right off the bat. I mean, even if you're buying like a $15 nipper, have something like this happen to you, it's pretty ridiculous. I have seen this happen all the time. Uh, I don't think my hobby shop recommend anybody to ever buy God hands when you're just building high grade and entry grade kits. These are not something that you would need God hands for. But yeah, if you're building something more complicated, more advanced, like a real grade, some master grades maybe, but no, the parts on the master grades are actually big enough that you don't really even need God hands either. They're so big. And the funny thing is, like the master grade kits, they use like really old technology, so the plastic is extra hard. If you're using God hands on really hard plastic, or any sort of single bladed nipper on hard plastic, you're just asking for it. And this is something like people don't mention a lot on social media. So I think we'll just have disastrous results. There's like all these people saying like all these YouTubers are just spreading misinformation on social media and stuff like that. Well, this isn't misinformation. This is fact. So yeah, be careful with your single bladed nippers. Again, I don't recommend anybody be buying these unless you are like, you plan on building a lot of real grades, because even 15 bucks, 12 to 15 bucks for the cheapest possible ones that you can find uh, anywhere, like on the internet, uh, those have potential to break when you're dealing with harder plastics. Just harder plastic formulation. If you're dealing with like really softer stuff, uh, you probably won't have any issues with that. So anyway, I'll link the Reddit thread to the video description so you guys can go see it. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching.